Some other maps like your Bind, you'll see some teams abandon the jet, but Safe, he didn't ever abandon it. He's always playing it. Oh, the wall goes up and the dash is already in. Kata behind enemy lines, but Leo spots him and Brams falls right after. Things are looking good for Vitality here in the pistol round with some strong duels going their way. Or for Guild. Names are swapped.
Yes. it's gone the Guild way. And Safe, he's been so good in the pistol rounds with this Sheriff. The only man left is Sender. They haven't actually spotted him. Split. And also they're winning a lot of the pistol rounds, or at least the first pistol. So each time it seems to be there's like an extreme deficit coming through for Vitality to face off against. And I will say, credit where it's due, they've done quite well with it. And hey, if they can somehow steal this round away with some pistols, that would be great. Even just a few kills here, though, is going to be enough.
Well, we already have Sender dropped to start with. These pistols are being dealt with, but one-for-one trades are not the way you want this to go. And Russ makes sure that he cleans it up nice and easily. It was looking like they were under a little bit of threat for a moment, but that was a short-lived moment.
That's impressive as well, because he not only had to be in that close angle versus pistols, but he had to dodge the fault line. So there was so much going on in his head, and just still manages to be as clinical as that, landing all of the shots. So, hey, props where it's due, gets him ever closer to those Seekers once again, and, well, we saw the impact that it had on the previous map of Vine. Now,
Rex is also going to Phantom. He's able to high up in the next comfortably. But Safe will have his ultimate, either coming into the next or he'll be one ult orb away. So it makes sense for him to invest, even if Guild end up losing this. And that makes their, what should be a weak buy round and a bonus, that much more strong indeed. One of the things I would look at, though, is for Guild, having these pistols on this map in particular, or having the Spectres on this map in particular, there are plenty of close range angles for them to fight on. So it's how they use these rifles in particular that I'm sort of curious about. Because right now we're seeing that they're the ones, you know, holding down inside of ropes, which is Safe wanting to just get aggressive, and then Trex playing up in heaven on range. But this A side is left open, which is exactly where Vitality are doing.
They're so confident as well that Safe will at least get one kill, that they've actually let the orb go into Russ, because he was the one defending Russ to get that orb in the first place. So they're almost playing in for a couple of ults for the next round, not just the Blade Storm. So I like that they're actually managing those orbs in that way. Little dink to start things off, not going to do as much damage as maybe they would hope, and it is going to be the site lost. And this is where things get a little bit tougher when you do have those SMGs in play, going for these retakes, taking these ranged battles. Sender just shutting down a couple of players. Again, there will at least be a trade back, and they do still have the rifles, which are yet to really be spotted.
Oh, that timing. It's given Safe the opportunity to walk through smoke. Looks like they're going to just blitz straight out. In fact, they've dodged the flashes on the timing. Shadow used up all his utility. Now they have nothing left to work with on. That ult orb has to be fought for in this round unless Safe found that kill. But he's got it. That's going to be Blade Storm activated. Wall down on A as well, so they can start to rotate in, but they've lost control of mid completely. Still, have control over Heaven and a camera watching for Vent Room, but Safe is a perfect opportunity to use this Blade Storm now. Get up close to them as Guild defend up in Heaven. Buying the time for that Blade Storm to come through, but they're watching for it. Sender, wise to his tricks, picks up the flank, and now a 4v3. Guild on the back foot. Vitality can take this wherever they want with all the information to play with.
Oh, Russ needs to go absolutely huge once again. He comes up with two. He gives Leo a chance. The last player is low, and that's the spike on the ground. It's going to come into a 1 versus 1. Brams facing off against Leo. Two players you would definitely want in these sort of scenarios, and Leo is not going to sit around waiting. He's expecting the push to come through from spawn. Now, this actually gives Brams an opportunity to retrieve the spike and potentially just leave with it. But he's actually just going to wait. He's going to wait for Leo to maybe even come back to try and check on it once again.
30 seconds left.
With 30 seconds left, though, yeah, Brams is kind of losing his nerve on this one. Doesn't want to sit around for all too much longer, and so it's time to move to the site. Now, it looks like he'll get a plant. I doubt he's going to expect Leo to be this close already. 15 seconds. And Leo starts to step towards the site. He's heard the drop. Leo has all the info to play with.
10 seconds left.
He's creeping up closer and closer by the second. Plant about to come through just as he's rounding the corner. That'll be when Brams is backing off!
You get this almost beautiful little double entry duo that a lot of the time we'll just run in. If Kata doesn't get the kill, Vac's normally available for the trade. So we're going to see that throughout this map. For now, it's much more of a spread out default just because of the weaponry that's on hand. But if they get rolling, that's when I think Vitality truly gets scary. And for a couple of the maps, well, both maps so far today, I feel like both of them have been somewhat missing.
It's interesting as well, just you say that about Brams, about him surviving every iteration of the roster. It's something that I know a bunch of other teams, Alliance included, when I was on that roster, tried to acquire him as a player when, okay, why have they got 2 kills already? Guild should not be able to fight into this round. I thought this was almost story time, but it turns out that it is actually a round that needs to be fought for with 50 seconds left. Vitality have no direction. And the worst part is these Seekers are giving away the A play, but I think that's almost the plan. Vitality want to destroy those, rob them of the information. There's 30 seconds left, and they have to make a choice on where they're going to push into on this. There are 2 players on either side. There is no easy way to close this round out.
Left.
Yeah, the one positive is that no weaponry has actually been retrieved. It's still just the pistols from the early round. So in every single firefight, there is a significant advantage, and that is a beautiful cosmic divide. You might be thinking it's an eco, they shouldn't need to use it, but it is huge. It doesn't matter though. One of the jewels has been isolated, and because of that, Safe has gone back. He gets a kill here. The round is over, and he lands the headshot onto Shadow. That's the spike on the ground. It's done. Brams might be a clutch king, but he's not winning this one, and they know he's...
Look at that buy. A Judge, a Guardian, a Phantom, a Sheriff, and a Spectre. I'll tell you what, for a second there, I was scared I'd forget the name of one of the guns. It'd be that moment. Yeah. Name all 5. Go for it. Off the top of your head. But
that's the thing, though. And because of that, Guild actually, like, to win the round was huge, but they actually picked up a gun on every player as well. So they brought in 4 rifles to this round that they were already saving to buy into. So they're going to be good economy-wise. Now, you can see the Rolling Thunder being set up. The flash is going to be put through, but that's where the Judge comes into play. Good trade from Russ. He actually gets a second as well. This man is so good at just getting doubles out of absolutely nothing. Now, he's been stunned up, but he should be all right by the time they actually come back into the site. The flash going to make things a little bit more awkward. And Bram's looking to try and wrap back around, but Cavalry's arriving, and Cold Mentor eventually sprays down 2 of the remaining players. Sender, he was on the lurk hoping to catch a rotation, but now, well, he has to be a hero.
Still a couple of gaps in this defense for Guild.
How good's your climbing?
Yeah.
You got an ice pick?
3v1 doesn't really show them where his opponents are, obviously, so I feel like for Sender, you gotta just look for some kills. You don't want to survive with this pistol, so running out onto site, I guess, yeah, look, you can at least get a... Oh, he's not even gonna go for it. Yeah, just walking out with the Sheriff in hand. I don't blame you. 10 seconds left. Time to die and get your money. Quite a while now.
The thing I wonder as well is, like, who is the creator of the cheese strats? Like, is this Barber? Is it Maeve? Is it going to be Cold Mentor himself? Or is it a combination of all 3? Because those are 3 pretty big brains that you've got sat. 2 of them behind the scenes, 1 in the server. Because this is now a few times today that we have seen like an idea just come out, be thrown in as like a little cheesy thing that might just work, and it has, and it's put Guild in a wonderful position, and Vitality have just got to be sat there just like, well, if it was based on gun rounds, they probably would have won Breeze, but that's it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, these nasty pistol rounds, especially that mid one, was great, and look at this. With pistols, Vitality can't really do the same. They come out of heaven and just get mowed down. I gotta say, maybe it's even Russ. You know, that mid push that came out with the...
Exactly
that would be Connor.
Get out of my way.
It was very funny. That was it. There was a McNuggets.
Yeah.
Sue's just messaged us.
That would be Connor. We got signed to Movistar. I didn't even know this. Let's go, baby. But why is he calling himself McNuggets?
He's trying to get your attention, you know?
And, oh, no, the best part is that it's in lowercase, because if he does it in uppercase, he apparently can get sued. So he's done his research. He's really thought about this, and I respect that.
And in the future, he'll go for that sponsorship. It's a genius play. I wouldn't mind getting some free McNuggets. Sender, though, after already finding an opener on the other side of the map, it's a switch up to B, leaving an isolated player to try and hold on. It hasn't worked out, and although there's a rotation coming through from Codamenta, I wonder if this is just going to come down to them trying to hold them into the site. Because financially, Guild should be in a pretty decent spot. Whereas their opponents, well, if they were to lose too many players here, that would be an issue.
A Guild have pushed down mid as well here. You're looking at Coldamenta maybe trying to catch an angle on Brams, drop that rifle towards the end. They would have needed a flurry of frags immediately to even think about going for this. Coldamenta's got a good opportunity. He's hearing lots of stat. Oh, no, he doesn't. He does not have a good opportunity at all. He's been off. Okay, nice and clean by Vitality. This is the kind of round they needed to really propel themselves back into it, get their economy a little bit healthier as well.
And again, if this even ends like 7-5 in favor of Guild, I would consider that a good half for Vita for safe, and he's going to use it to try and dominate mid.
Yeah, but mid's not where they're coming in. It's A heaven that Vitality want to fight for. 2 players on the A side, and I mean, it's hard for Safe to get back in here with the op normally, but he's just gone straight up that rope, and he's going to look to fight them as they come on through. The push-up on B, though, is starting to scare me, Tom. I'm seeing Russ inside of B main, and there were 2 players, both Sender and Brams, that were waiting for him, but now we've seen the rotation from Brams. It looks like Sender's about to leave as well, and so that's good map control for Guild to just hold like that.
Even still, though, the slow play has maybe caused some doubts in Guild's mind. You can see just the fact that Vitality are just sitting waiting. There's now only 2 players remaining on this site, but the problem is Guild are using this time. They flashed twice outside of B, so that's information. They've also now killed off the 1 player in mid, which is the lurk. They have every single piece of information they could ever need with 40 seconds left, and now Safe is back in that spot once again to try and catch them as they go through.
And he already managed to catch that kill on mid, scot-free. Dash still online after that frag, which is the most important thing for the angle he's holding. He can dash down into the vents nice and safely. Here comes a showstopper, looking for the site itself. Grav well in, Kata gonna be dropped. Here's the play for Safe, but Brams catches him. Left on 10 health, Vac low as well. No time really for them to get this done. This should be an easy cleanup for Guild.
10 seconds left.
I've seen Vac go towards the site, but there is simply no time.
Look at Russ as well. It may not even matter for this peak because they know that the flank's coming through anyway. Brams, this needs to be a truly ludicrous play to try and get anything done in this one. They are waiting for him. Beautiful whiff from Coldamenta, but it's all right. He's got Trex alongside him to close it with a triple. And yeah, I think this is an example of Guild playing the in that ladder round that it then becomes impossible for Vitality not to be pushing into a stack.
Well, this is the thing. There is no easy way. There is no correct or incorrect way to actually to play these kind of rounds, to play those slow rounds. Because the reality is it has to be tailored. You can have a baseline of how you want to play it, but it has to be tailored to your opponents. You're playing a team that never rotates, that refuses to rotate. What's the point of faking, you know? And that's obviously a very extreme example, but just to really underline that. And I think that's where we look at this Guild team, and they've been really solid on those mid-round calls. They're being cautious in not leaving sites completely open, but if they are going to cause those, if they're going to stack up on A, for example, they'll have Russ push up B and take that little bit of extra control, understanding that playing passive on one side of the map means the other side is weaker. So you either need to have an insane player, which you've got Russ there anyways, and put them aggressive so they get the extra information and that extra bit of timing to it. Really helps secure it. Guild have a perfect way of playing that and not overextending and giving those advantages away. Now, we're going to see a duel into Safe, but he's actually missed. And now he's stunned on site. Blade Storm out to try and defend.
30 seconds left.
It's a gorgeous stun, but he's still alive, and the flash will catch him as well. He's being hit by every single piece of utility, but they haven't managed to clear him. Everything that came through, and then the rotation's there as well. Leo, Coldamenta putting another couple in the grave. 5 rounds for Vitality. Good spot for workable. Anything less, and then I really am in it. Like, sure, curse, haha, whatever. But, like, realistically, you would expect Guild to close it out from there. So, for Vitality's sake, I'm hoping we see a little bit more. And as said, they've had some decent ideas. It's just that Guild have been so adaptive that I think that thus far, that's why they're in the lead.
It definitely feels that way.
That's with an op.
Here.
He pushed all the way up to the
dash.
utility there.
Yeah, it feels so safe just being able to dash out of there. I think that's I hate it's like casting big all over again.
Oh, I can't wait for Safe versus Big.
Yeah. Gonna be great. But here on the attack side, Vitality with these weak weapons now, 3 pistols coming into this, Guardian. This is a depressing situation and a last stand of sorts as they attempt to do what little they can here. 5 rounds would be great. They need that 4th at a minimum. They would want to give themselves a little bit of leg room, because if that pistol goes to Guild again,
30 seconds left.
and things just start to really spiral. If it ends up at 9-3.
Yeah, they're running out of time to do anything here. The slow in play as well is almost just ratty. And while running straight into Leo, he might get caught in a grab well, but it doesn't even matter at this point. If anything, the remaining players either need to save or every prospect not making it through first time.
I mean, open qual, 2 spots.
Or it'd be closed qualifier for...
Close qual, yeah. But you have G2, Giants, like Heretics next week is not going to be fun for any teams. And that's without even mentioning the bunch of lower tier teams that have a huge amount of upset potential. It's damn scary to have to go through next week. But Vitality might not have another choice. They really need to shift their ass into gear here, and they're currently on 3 rounds. Coming into the final one of the half with a rolling thunder. The rest of the ults, I don't think going to be, well, that impactful, that close by to be pulled out. Coldament has even come in with an Odin and taken down
Look
Browns.
Where it was. Look where he is,
That's
and look
the
where
worst
the
thing
player
I've ever
died.
seen.
That is gross.
Did he, I'm guessing he maybe used a smoke and then spammed through it when the orb was being taken, because it definitely looks like Brams. Well, no, actually, Brams had ult already coming into the round, so I don't know why he'd be on orb. Either way, absolutely, the Coldament is a lunatic when it comes to playing with that. I don't think they're going to expect Safe to be pushing. He tanked some of that aftershock, and he's right behind them already. That rolling thunder buys them a little bit of time, but ultimately it comes down to Safe's timing on whether this will be closed out. Maybe it comes down to the Odin of Coldamenta, who's on site, just demolishing them. And this round, surely done and dusted here. Back, the final man standing now in a 1v3, and they know exactly where he's going to be coming from, holding the end.
Come back a lot of the time, so let's not count them out just yet.
The fault line into the push to start things out. Kata has some ideas here alongside Shadow. They push Trex back, but little do they know Russ is waiting for them, baiting them in as Trex, making all that noise from afar, but they won't step forward. They won't give it away. Guild moving to the B side instead now, hoping that they've thinned out the defense, maybe pulled to rotate. But that early aggression, I'm sure they don't think they have, though. This is where they have to try to just break their way in, find a duel. And Brams might give it to them. He's stepping out wide. He's being spotted, and they're pursuing. The shots aren't landing for Brams, and he's under a lot of pressure now on the site. That comes down to help, and Nate has used blast packs and everything. With all that utility, they're calling for the rotates. They're saying, we need help on B. But in fact, it's the A site that Guild are going towards. The frenzy in the hands of Russ has snuck his way in after hiding in that corner earlier. Nobody played into him and let him take those sneaky kills. So he said, okay, cool. I'll make my own space. And here's the reward as he sneaks up behind Sender, who is about to be infuriated. Russ, don't you take that knife out, thank God. He finishes him off with a pistol.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, they've still got to deal with Kata, though. One more defender on this side. Let's see what he could do. A first kill at least. We'll put it into a 3 versus 3 when the retake begins. But the site has been lost. A plant guaranteed. And that's the thing. The remaining players don't know what angles are held. With Russ being that far forward, they have no idea where the remainder are. Safe taking a big risk. The plant flies. What? 2 for 1. They didn't even need that little lucky shot. But the fact is now, Shadow is all that's left. A 1 versus 3 to try and bring something back. And well, even when opportunities are put into his hands, he's not going to get anything.
There's one. Sneaking around towards the site. The right click actually does.
We got 2 shotguns and different ones at that. Now, back we've already seen, like, holding these close angles, he's a little bit of a rat, I won't lie. It's just gross, and I don't want them to push this now. Oh, never mind! Oh, he's just been destroyed. Just trying to tap a few bullets through Shadow with a Bucky. Okay, there's one. That's something at least. A little bit of a gap within the wall, and he's going to delay them at least a little bit. A chance here for something, and he's still doing a lot of damage. Some seriously low players on the other side, but Safe is just running riot. Finally, he's put into the grave and gives them a chance, but there's only Sender left.
Oh, he's managed to recover a rifle, though, and down goes Trex. Low HP for Russ, and even Coldamenta won't last too long. There's the first dropped already.
And it was only the one Safe rifle. They do have the benefit of the fact that Safe managed to nigh on kill half the team, so he's now got himself a blade storm. A little bit low. That is audacious from back. I don't know how he gets away with peeking that far in, especially after getting punished in the last round, but hey, Gets them an opener, backs out there. Well played.
A blast pack push up close, having your fault line at start a round. Really, really strong start. Guild lose another player here on mid. That is such a valuable shot connected by Kata. Going in with a sheriff. Getting out of there with his life. A 5v3 now. Safe needs to do so much with this Blade Storm in hand as he creeps his way into heaven. The first shot not going to land. And you see immediately Kata just backs off. He doesn't want to mess with that Blade Storm. And then he does. And that's why he didn't want to mess with it.
Yeah, you don't give him a tight angle to jiggle peek off of. That's the chance for Safe to now turn this back on his head. What was the lifeline? Could still become dangerous. The steps through. Safe found another one. He's left this B site open, but the spike's been dropped. And now he needs to do something truly ridiculous. He goes through it and just gets another one. This really is falling apart. This should have been over by now.
Ridiculous. Safe is on 22 HP. He's picked up a Guardian. Now he's close. Abrams manages to shut him down, leaving Trex alone. 1 versus 2. Best opportunity for Vitality so far. Time ticking away. No idea where Trex is, and I think they're just hoping that he'll make a peek eventually and give himself away. As they creep in closer to the site, there's the first spotted up top. Trex is a very good idea of what's going on now, but Brams is a little bit too quick. Vitality find a 4th.
7 HP. Oh, it really wasn't far away, was it?
No, it's a long way from being comfortable. That's for damn sure.
You know at some point you're going to come up against like a silly amount of ultimates, especially if Guild just save them up and try and just spam them in a round. So it becomes tough, but then again, the ultimates they have, I think only a couple of them I can see really being completely game-changing. Nonetheless, a lot of control. Take this actually, the spike. So there you go. Signed, sealed, and delivered.
Oh, they managed to recover it somehow. The nade does take down Russ, though.
Bomb buddy out.
Gonna have a nice, easy swing. Okay, they fall back. Give it up for a moment. Not the round where you think Guild will do a lot of damage, but still, you don't want to start it out like that. At least they have managed to shut Cadavra. It looks like Trax is gone. Nasty angle by Sander in a round like this. You'll never really expect it. And if he was there alone, I'd be quite annoyed. But he has Shadow covering him from heaven, making sure that there's no push behind him, which is already confirmed pretty much by the trap wires. But more so, he was there to peek off his contact. I don't like that he's still here, but he has the cam to check every now and then, I guess. So he just feels that little bit safer.
Oh no, that could actually be a plant. Yeah, the dash across is almost going to guarantee it. So some extra credits coming through into the next round. You can see Safe trying to bait it out now that he's actually managed to retrieve a rifle. And it looks like they're actually more focused on just trying to do damage in this round. The plant doesn't really matter so much to the side of Guild. They want to try and get someone to peek. And well, Lego's landed another.
Later on, but when you look at Vitality, coming into that round, we needed them to win that cleanly. Because if they are to streak together this many rounds, they better be damn good versus the rifles and even better versus the pistols. But they've taken the first 2 to start with. Rez comes through right after, though. After Leo finding that kill in the previous round, he had this online.
Oh, that was sick.
Spike down B.
Nice little angle to manage to find a kill back. Still, though, it's even. Kata coming in with a Blade Storm. Oh, he almost gets caught out. And Vac still just having to survive alone on the site, but he's doing a great job of it. Nade even goes back out, recovered after a couple of kills, and Sender just misses the timing. I don't know if they will have heard him from behind. It leaves
an even brighter future for the defensive side of Vitality. You should easily get out of this with 11-7. And again, we want to see that. We need to see them take control of this round.
Yeah, that hasn't necessarily been the case against a lot of these pistols. Oh, the push-up from Sender. It's a nice little pop flash. And he's going to get himself a multi-frag off. It's still a rifle. Could be picked up, but Shadow's alongside him to at least put another in the dirt. Not really something that can be fought for anymore, especially with Trex having the spike. Oh, I didn't see him initially, but eventually the reactions kicked in.
50 seconds left. At least he has the spike, but he's running into 3 players. The first is Vac. Sat on his left side. 54 straight B hit is almost impossible at this point. Bit
of spam as Kata is expected. His aggression is something that Guild seem more than prepared for. And actually, it's looking like that ultimate might not be saved. Shadow almost preparing it for a push into mid. Seeker's going to go through. It will just be onto Russ. He's the only person who's been ulted. And they actually get very little for it. He's not cleared out. They do rotate back into the B site, though. And we'll have a decent amount of players here.
Russ is being caught on the way. Kata with the op, delivering, and he's got two teammates to cover his crossover. Brams now standing alone as the only cover for that operator, and he's going to swing into a fight. Luckily, Trex runs out of ammo, runs out of the site as well. He's bailing, pushed back by the utility. A 1v3 looking very, very difficult indeed, as these players are just lined up and waiting. Brams misses the first shot, the peak in heaven, not going according to plan. Trex is being given an opportunity here. Oh, this would be such a devastating round for Vitality to lose. The spike is being retrieved by now, and Trex has a choice to make. 30 seconds on the clock, barely any time to... Guild will come in here with an intention. Read the defensive side, see what they're doing in the early round, figure out if we can find any gaps for the next one, for that buy round.
Yeah, they're also pretty wary after the last eco they faced off against. It was fairly aggressive. Like, you had Sender push up, Shadow with the pop flash, and they're trying to make sure that that doesn't happen again. The problem is they still have this defensive duo just slowing them down. So much utility available now. This time, he's actually completely isolated, and because of that, Sender's going to go down. Now, a decent grab well leaves Russ completely screwed. And Leo's going to get the ult orb, but more importantly, he's also got a rifle.
Coldament is also snuck into heaven with the frenzy. They're aware they've given up that control, though, so they deal with him. Nice delivery by Trex. That's with a Spectre. This guy has now taken 2 kills. After punishing Sender up close and now deleting Brams, they have an opportunity to cross the site. Shadow stands in their way, but Leo has retrieved an actual rifle, a phantom in his hands, but he's dropped. And now Trex has to do it all by himself. The spike to be retrieved. The rest of the defenders on their way. And even with the rifle now in his hands, this will be a very, very tough clutch. He's going to push him close. That was an ambitious play.
Give yourself a better chance with lesser oppositions available. Now, again, this is a full stack outside A. I think this is a complete pace change, and, well, not expecting it to be there, I guess.
Considering the setup from Vitality, they're reading into this. They're expecting Guild to come for it. 3 players around here, no mid control at the start of the round. They thought after the eco that Guild would have gathered the information. Hey, A's kind of weak. We can get in there with pistols, with Spectres. Let's do it with rifles. So Vitality sit on the site and say, yeah, sure, dude. You want to come A? Go ahead. And they mow them down. Guild running into that stack early. It was a gamble. They rolled the dice on what they thought was a clear weakness, but Vitality had already made...
Safe's got a hero.
You don't see that every day.
Not an attack.
The operator, the pistols beside him, the light shields on safe, and indeed attacking, pushing into those angles. If anyone was to do it, I think if you said any player, I'd probably roll my dice and say safe. He is a lunatic. Nade landing right on top of him. He was patient, but not patient enough. Almost caught back, and now he's lost his life. The hero op down, but it can be retrieved. And it will be in the hands of Coldamenta. Oh, and Sender's gone down. Look at where Trex is. He's in their spawn. I was so preoccupied with the op on mid, and so are they. Trex just walked through A.
Shadow trying to make sure that nobody's able to retrieve the gun. He goes up over their own wall, uses it against them. Sure, there's going to be an afterplant here, but it is still only that operator as the one weapon in play, and Kata is waiting for it. Absolutely nothing comes, and while they have to try and make a 2 versus 4 stick with pistols, I don't see that happening.
Well, they know where Brams is, and Brams knows where they are. Wait, a nice double. That'll be closed out. Nice and clean. Well handled. Vitality, 11-11. We are looking at, honestly, a mind-boggling comeback. Vitality to fight their way back into this game. This is something that, yeah, I mean, if you run this back 100 times, Guild close this majority, but they are not comfortable on this map, and I think it is...
Get here in the first place. Now, it's a silly amount of rounds that they've won in a row without making a single mistake to allow Guild in. Again, though, Guild just need that one moment. get them to 12, reset their minds, have that one player pop off. The problem is they don't have the ults to do it either. There's a couple that are close. 3, in fact, available if just one orb is found. On the other side, though, we're back online with both the Rolling Thunder and the Showstopper. So it's not getting any easier for Guild as these rounds go on.
You know, a lot of the Guild ultis here are passive ults, so that ult economy definitely swings in power towards Vitality. But it's the round-to-round utility that should lead Guild to victory, but so far that hasn't been the case. Rams in trouble. 1 kill and traded out, sight now open. There's only one player here to stop it. It's Shadow. He's going to ult and he's all by himself. He has to deliver on this, and he's going to be putting an aftershock, but they've evaded it entirely. He slowed them, though. He's run that clock down. Rust in the back lines, though, is the big problem because he's now going to catch back, swinging a little deeper, but Kata shuts him down, and now Shadow almost had the timing, but Coldamenta went back to check it. Vitality on the back foot. 2v4.
Goodbye.
2v3. Trex caught. Up shot, not landing. Bladestorm comes out. Kata not able to.
And then Guild just find one out of nowhere. And Rust just with a sneaky play being able to sit him behind and then just finding the kills elsewhere. Still, of course, a huge amount of economy available for Vitality. And just because one has come onto the board, it doesn't mean we're not going to OT.
No, it absolutely doesn't. Vitality will be fired up coming into this one. Kata's in trouble. This is the player that needs to show up right now. We talked about it in the previous half. We talked about that Jet defensive side, how much it can do, but now he's pushing forward right into the full force of Guild. Getting out of there is going to be tough. The dash buys him that little bit of extra space, and he's away before they join him. Seeker's on their way. He destroys them with the op. Now they're close, safe, looking to punish that operator. Right up in his face, and he'll get the first, following up for more. Safe as a madman, now on site, planting the spike as Shadow wants to get back in, but there's so many players here, and he's caught with util in hand. The Showstopper, that last-ditch attempt by Vac, it's found basically nothing so far, and it'll get nothing done again. Vitality are being dismantled at the last second for 13 to